Hello, everybody. It's Davis. All right. I like to call this one El Mantina. Doesn't have anything to do with manatees. In fact, that's not even suggested in the name. But manta rays. And it takes place at SeaWorld. Oh, yeah. So one day, my grandmother's like, hey, what do you have tickets for? Can you do anything? And my mom was like, yo, we got passes to SeaWorld. And Booma, my grandmother, was like, all right, going to SeaWorld, let's do it. So my siblings and I and my grandmother all went to SeaWorld. And, my grandmother isn't really the most responsible person. I'll get to that in a bit, right? We have this fun day at SeaWorld. We're all having good, clean fun. And we spend a couple of minutes in the kiddie zone, where they've got the Shamu Express and the jellyfish jumper and the ocean commotion. Good old ocean commotion. That's great. I recommend a song that has those lyrics in it, but I'm not gonna do that right now. So I went on like Shamu Express with my little brother, and then that's pretty much all I like to do in Kids Land, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm not a kid. I'm a 15-year-old boy. By the way, I'm 15 tomorrow. Woo! So
you would be
let's see, Monday. So yesterday, as of uploading this, yesterday was my birthday. Yeah, the 8th. Okay, so I was like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore. I hadn't been able to do any of the big rides all night because I had my siblings with me, and they don't really like doing rides. Reed will do a couple, and he wants to do Manta. Next time we go, he's going to do Manta, but he wasn't up for Manta then, right? I'm like, well, I want to do Manta. And so my grandmother, right, she's like, go ahead, just go. So I ventured, I was like 11 or 12, and she's just like, oh yeah, then go to Manta on the other side of the park. Like, it's you cross the bridge across the water. I'm just on the opposite side of the theme park. This was completely new for me. This is my first time being separate from the adult supervision, which, we don't really consider her too much of a supervision. When she babysits, it's more like I babysit. She just is there to call 911 if I'm too further away from the phone than she is. Yeah, she's not the most responsible, but she's great. I love her. So the ride for the Manta was like nothing. And so I'm just like, I'm walking on.
You mean the wait?
The line, yeah, the wait was 5 minutes, which is the time it takes to walk through the thing. And there were like 4 other people who were there too. And so, I say 4, I mean 4 other parties. So you have to wait when you got up there, but you didn't have to wait in the line. You got up there and it's like, now boarding this section, and then they would all get on, and then that cart would move, and then you'd get on the next one. That's about how many people were there. And so I got in line, and because I'm a single rider, I got put with a group. There were these 3 other kids my age. I forget where they were from. I think they were from some of those middle America, like Kansas or Oklahoma or something in the Midwestern, yeah. While we were just waiting, we got to talking, we made pretty good friends, and we got on the ride, right? Now, I was at Kiddieland just previous to this, and I don't know, but just a couple steps away from Kiddieland is my favorite ice cream place in the whole park. And this ice cream place, it's a little bit expensive. My mom doesn't usually let me buy too much.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's really good. And my grandmother was like, you know what? Have as much as you'd like. So I had a lot of ice cream. I get on the Manta. You know, we lift off. We're going up the big initial, right? It goes for that turn, and then, and you feel like you're flying, you're like, whoo, you're swinging around. Meanwhile, these kids from not Florida, right? They've never been here before, freaking out. They're like, ah, I'm like, yeah, and they're like, ah, 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 and I'm like, yeah, right? It tosses you around a lot if you've never been on the Manta. You're like, whoo, whoo, you know, it's a real roller coaster.
But you're like hanging.
You hang off of like a manta ray. And then you like fly through the sky. Now this is nighttime, it's dark. Manta is the best ride at night, but during the day, it's the Kraken. That's some advice for those of you going to SeaWorld. So, I'm on it. You know, it's flying around. My tongue starts feeling a little weird. I'm like, oh yeah, I had a lot of ice cream. I had some root beer with that. It's understandable, right? And we get off, and I'm talking to these kids, and they're like, that was awesome. We gotta go again. I'm like, yes, we do gotta go again. The line's nothing. We walk right back on. We end up going on this ride like more than 20 times. And every time my stomach feels a little bit more hubbly bubbly. Feels a little bit more gurgly durgle. And I'm having fun. I don't want to stop. I really don't want to stop. I'm hanging out with some new friends, going on one of my favorite rides at night. We're riding in all these different ways. Like sometimes we're riding it like as tense as we can, as loose as we can, limp. You know, every time we go on it, we ride it in a different way, right? Like, and it's a different experience every time. And I'm having so much fun. And then probably somewhere around the 32nd time, we're getting off, right? And my stomach just stops feeling weird for a second. Right? It's like we're coming into the station, it stops, we pull in, and it's like, well, I guess I'm fine. When you're on the Manta, you're hanging, but when you're boarding, it turns down. So it's like vertical, and then when you're riding it, you're horizontal. Right? As it starts turning down to vertical so I can get back on, right? I have never vomited so hard. It was everywhere, all over these kids from like I had just met them. They were coated. The floor around it was coated in
Okay, stop.
and root beer ice cream. Oh,
That was the payoff?
that was the payoff.
Oh.
You waited so long for it, and you got this.
Oh. No.
It came up. I was it was
Okay.
oh. Remember that time you slept over after camp and I had a really sick stomach? Like my stomach got really after movie camp
I think
that
so.
one summer, and you
Yeah.
slept over, and
You hated that camp.
I did really. It
I
was
liked it.
basically my stomach was like really bad the last day, and he came over and slept over, and I was up all night. I was whining, I was keeping him up, and I'm so sorry for that, but I got
don't
up.
think I was up. I was out.
I got up. I remember so I got up, and then I went to talk to Mom, and I took some
I'm
Tums.
sorry.
I took a Tum. Whenever I eat Tums, I vomit. I puked really hard, and I took a shower, and I came back in, and Miller was like, hey, is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, man, it's cool. So, the moral of the story here, stick with your real friends. Because, you're not real friends,
You'll vomit on them.
you'll vomit on them. Whereas if you're with your real friends, you vomit with them. Thank you, and good night, New York City.